Matt Trogdon joining us from Streaking the Law on the Virginia platform on SB Nation. And Matt, you almost have to do double duty here in regards to this recruiting season being amped up and brought up to the end of December. So I'm hearing from a lot of bloggers like yourself that that they're going to bring in 75 to 80% of their class on the dotted line. And I just didn't expect it to have that kind of impact. So we definitely have some recruiting news with your team currently 46th in the 247 Sports rankings. So what's the latest on the recruiting front?
Yeah, thanks. I think I would, from the recruiting websites that I follow, I would predict Virginia will bring in the overwhelming majority of its recruiting class next week as well. The latest news, Virginia got commitments from two quarterbacks, Brendan Armstrong, a true freshman who will come in as a true freshman out of Ohio. He's a left-handed quarterback, dual threat quarterback. And then Bryce Perkins is a junior college graduate out of Arizona who committed recently, and he'll come in with 2 years of eligibility left. So those are the two big ones. That's the big news. Virginia's offensive coordinator, Robert and I, has talked about wanting to get back to the BYU style of offense with the dual threat quarterback. And so you can see that in their recruiting with both of these guys. As the class as a whole, you know, it's not a star-studded class. Last year's class wasn't a star-studded class either, but this year's class has quite a bit of balance, as last year's class did as well. So they've recruited almost every position. They currently have commitments from 6 offensive linemen. They have commitments from 2 defensive linemen and are looking for more. I think they have commitments from 4 linebackers, 4 wide receivers, a quarterback, a running back, 2 defensive backs. So it looks like they are continuing to try to stock the cupboard, just with talented bodies. Bronco Mendenhall looks like so far he's done a great job of getting unheralded players and getting them ready to play early. I mean, he's had a couple of guys who were true freshmen this year who were under the radar guys and who stepped in and had pretty significant roles. So I would look for that as well with this next year's class. And then hopefully with the success that UVA had on the field this season, they'll be able to see a bit of an uptick as far as attracting higher prized prospects next season for the 2019 cycle.
21 commits, including 23 stars for Bronco Mendenhall in this 2018 recruiting class. Matt Trogdon joining us to break it down. Matt, it's a good football playing state. So has there been a thrust, an effort by Bronco Mendenhall to capture the state back from Virginia Tech and other schools coming in and raiding that talent?
Not quite yet. Mike London, Virginia's previous coach, was a very strong in-state recruiter. You could debate, whether his recruiting strategy paid off or not, considering that he's no longer the coach. But Bronco Mendenhall's staff has not had the success recruiting the state as much as they would like yet. Have commitments from only 3 in-state kids. Last year, I think it was 7 or 8. They've only had 1 commitment from the 757 region down in Tidewater, to safety Joseph White. They've only had 1 commitment in 2 years from the Richmond area, and that's Billy Kemp, a wide receiver who just committed last week, who's actually a UVA legacy. So would like in-state kids. I think they're only going to go after in-state kids that fit the profile of what they're looking for. And if they can't find them, I think they're going to go elsewhere. They've had some success in Georgia and in Florida, which has been interesting to watch. I mentioned heralded guys and getting them ready to play early. Mandy Alonso, who is a true freshman this year, came from South Florida, kind of an under-the-radar defensive tackle, and he started the last 4 games for UVA at defensive end, and I would imagine he'll start in the bowl game against Navy. So they're looking for guys that fit their profile. They're trying to restock the cupboard, and so far at least, I don't think that they have too strong of a preference.
Virginia largely dismissed in recent years, 2-10 most recently here in 2016, even within the ACC, and the program's relevant again within the ACC and the Coastal Division. They can't be ignored. They won 3 games. They beat some good teams, including Georgia Tech in particular, took Miami to the fourth quarter, and good things are happening in Charlottesville, and this should add to it. A bowl game against a quality opponent and another recruiting chip when you could say we're back in postseason play. Look at the improvement. Look at what we did against Miami and some other quality teams. So Virginia looking to build upon that on the field success in the recruiting rankings as well. Matt Trogdon from Streaking the Lawn joining us on SB Nation. Matt, we appreciate the breakdown, sir.
Thanks, Mark. I enjoyed it. Hope to come back sometime.